I wanted to make this video because I think investing in your tools is so much better, I think, than investing in actual makeup, because things can get expensive. Like if you have a crappy brush and a good bronzer, there's gonna be a lot of trouble. But if you have a crappy bronzer and a bomb brush, you literally could make it work. Hi guys. So okay. I'm doing a video on my like current, I wouldn't say favorite, because some of these are not necessarily my favorite. It's what I have, it's what I was able to get. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go through all the tools that I use and the tools that I think would definitely come in handy if you got them. At the end of the video, I'm gonna narrow it down to like maybe just like the absolute essential things that I think you guys should have. So yeah, okay. So the first brush, so we're gonna go through brushes first. And I'll start with the face brushes. So I have this big fluffy brush. Now, this is from It Cosmetics. It is, it says number 211, all over powder. Like you could just powder all your face, bam, call it a day. So I really, really like this one, okay? I have other powder brushes, but like on the fluffier and like not as dense, just like really fluffy, the better. Sometimes when you are looking, there's other like different kinds of powder brushes. For example, like this one is from Real Techniques. It's good. It's a little rougher. It feels a little bit rougher. And the bristles are just a little bit shorter. So the shorter the bristle, the more dense it's gonna be. So it's gonna like really grab a lot of product. So for all over, I always just like keep it nice and like fluffy and like airy and, you know, not as like tight, like, you know. The other brush that I like, we're still on face brushes. I have two for like bronzer slash I'll say bronzer. And maybe, yeah, like a slight contour, whatever. I love big fan brushes. Like, I don't know why. Well, I do actually. I think they just like, because they're more fluffier. I think like it's just more lighter. So it's gonna give it a more airbrushed effect in my personal and professional opinion. And then the other one that I do like is, this is the Real Techniques again. Real Techniques has good brushes, even though they're not like my first choice, but they do have good brushes and you can find them at Target. But you know, we're in quarantine, so it's tricky, but whatever. This one, I like it. One of the reasons is because it's so short. So, I mean, this one's short too, but like other brushes are like way longer, and this is good because you can kind of travel with it. The shape is really nice. It is really fluffy too. You guys know I really like fluffy brushes. And this just fits perfectly right here. And I like that it's bigger, so it's not gonna give you like a really concentrated like contour. So that's why I like it for bronzer. See, like it's so big, you can really just like put it everywhere. I hope I'm not like too far away. So yeah, that's why I really like this one. Look at this, so good. And it's very soft. And Real Techniques is not that expensive. Oh, this one though that I said I do love, like I literally use this one. This is just like the one. I love this one. It is the Sigma Fan 590 F90. And I love it. It is literally so good. It's amazing. Okay. And then now for contour brushes, I literally will use this to contour, because I don't go crazy like that with like the whole contour stuff. So I always prefer a little bit more natural, but when I want to go for a contour, I just look for a smaller fluffy brush. So notice this one, it is way smaller, but it's still kind of fluffy. Look at this. You see this? So it allows you to be a little bit more detailed, right? Get right in there. But because it's fluffy, it's not gonna leave it harsh. Like for example, like there's this brush. Like I know that some of these are kind of popular for contour, and it is good. But for somebody that either just wants to hurry up or like if you have a heavy hand, like the more dense it is, you're going to pack a lot of product on with this. But if that's what you want to do, then a smaller one is better. But I like a fluffier, smaller brush because that's what your girl likes. And it's, you know, I think it's easier in a way. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now we're gonna move on to blush. I have two brushes that I do love. So this brush that I was talking about, it actually came in a little kit, and it brought this brush. So it's literally almost the same. It's just a bit smaller. And again, it is a little bit fluffy, like it gets fluffier right here, which is fine. And then the shape is like, it's kind of like a round triangle type of thing, which I do like. And I use this for blush. Again, I like because it's short and I can travel with it. So it just like makes it easier. I really, really love this one a lot. I use it a lot, but I have another brush that I use even more, especially when I'm home, when I'm like, you know, taking my time to do my makeup. And it is this one right here. And this is by Morphe. It is I think it's E4. It's kind of like rubbing off. But this brush literally fits just so good right here. I don't think it was meant to be a blush brush, but I use it for blush. And it just like, if you either gonna put it on the apples of your cheeks, or if you're gonna put it like kind of contour with your blush a little bit, it works really well. Again, it's nice and fluffy. You guys know I really like soft, fluffy brushes. Yes. Okay, so now let's move on to like a highlighting brush, you know, what everybody's like loving, you know, the glow. And I used to use a fan brush for highlighting, but I don't know, I think I broke that brush. It wasn't the best quality. It was by Morphe, and I loved it, but then, you know, it just like fell apart. So I started using the M510, which is just like a huge blending brush, like, you know, the little blending brush for the eyes. It's just kind of like a jumbo version of that, and you just like put it right on, and that's it. So it is gonna concentrate the highlight a little bit more. You literally can put on highlight with a brush like this, but that's gonna give you kind of all over, and it's not gonna concentrate the glow in one spot. Okay, so I really like this. It's amazing. Now, this one is a very interesting brush. This is the Sigma Precision Tapered P86. And I really, surprisingly, I find myself using this brush so much. It's like a mini kabuki brush. A kabuki brush is one that is very dense and like packed, you know, like very tight. It's like, it's soft, but it's hard. You know, like the bristles are soft, but because there's so many and they're tight, it makes it like more dense. So I like to use this one, I noticed, to blend out like my spot concealing, and then to apply the you know, eyeshadow primer or concealer all over your lid. I'm always using this brush when I don't want to use my fingers. And because it's tapered, it be getting into the little crevices of your face, you know, so you could get really right in there. And I love this brush. It's just like, you know, something that you don't really plan to love and then you end up like really loving is this right here. Okay, so then the last thing for face tools I love, and guys, I've been like, I try to tell people about this sponge. This is the Sonia Kashuk Beauty Sponge. It's just beautiful. It's amazing. Why did I get it? I don't know why I got it. I just like, oh, because I was trying out new sponges, because honestly, like, I loved the Beauty Blender for a long time. The Beauty Blender is like one of the most famous beauty sponges. It's 20 bucks. And like 20 bucks, even though you can reuse it, I don't know. I was like, I think I need to get a new one. So when I was just like in Target and I saw this, I was like, I'm gonna try it out. And guys, when I wet it, so beauty sponges, you don't have to wet it, but you kind of do. They're meant to be, you know, you have to wet it and then squeeze out the excess, and that you can get more out of it. It's just gonna make applying things much easier, because right now that it's not wet, it's hard. Even though right now it's soft, even though it's not wet, but once you wet it, it's like the magic. So this sponge, look how big it gets when it's wet. I went and wet this one just so you guys could see. And like, look it's just like so freaking like soft and squishy. It was way more squishy and soft than the actual Beauty Blender. I used to use the Real Techniques beauty sponge, but personally that was kind of hard on, like, I felt like I was literally, I know they say, you know, we're beating our faces, but that was like hurting. So this one, and it's huge, like, girl, it's lit. I love how big it is, so you can really get your foundation done like way faster, and it has the point, so you know, you can like kind of pinch it and go in there, you know, if you want to blend under your eye. If you have dry skin like me, applying your foundation with a damp, you know, so it can't be dripping. It's just gonna make it so much easier, and I really love it. I love it. It's great. I don't know what else I can say. It's like $5, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, every time I buy, I always round it up, so sometimes I don't look like at the price like that, but I do. It's just like, you know, does anybody else do that? Like, you know, you're always like thinking you're gonna spend a lot more, so you're like, I don't know, whatever. So I love this sponge, guys. Like, seriously, if you're looking for a new sponge and you could get it online, whatever, like, I highly recommend this one. And I use it when I do makeup on my clients. It's so good, and they're always like, oh my god, that's so soft, and I'm like, girl, I know, it's good. Okay, and I also wanted to mention, because I know I talked about the sponge and how I use that for like my foundation, especially if you have dry skin. If you're not a fan of working with a sponge, get yourself a really good kabuki brush. That's what I use when I don't use the sponge for my makeup. So I have a couple that I really like. For example, Sigma is like OG for kabuki brushes, I think. I don't know. But then I also, like, this is old. This is from the brand Jessup. I don't know if they still make brushes, because, girl, it's been like 6 years that I've had this brush. It was literally one of the first brushes I got. But see how like dense and short it is? Like, this is gonna get your foundation on, you know, really nicely. You can stipple, you can go like this. It's easy. Like, this makes it so if you don't want to use a sponge for foundation, you can use a brush. Okay, that's what I think. Okay, so now let's talk about the eyes. Okay, the eyes and all this area. I'm gonna talk about blending brushes first. So I have 3 that I use. 2 of them are from Morphe, and then the other one is by MAC. This is like the OG blending brush. It's the MAC 217. This thing is so good. When I use this brush, I was still like, because I used to use my fingers a lot for doing my makeup. I literally used to blend eyeshadow with my fingers. I honestly, like, at one point I was like, I don't need brushes. Like, I don't know. You always need to have more than one. If you're going to be doing more looks, if, you know, you want to have, like, I think at least 2 others. So I definitely would get another one of these, but that's why there's different blending brushes. And notice the other 2, like this one's way bigger. You need a bigger fluffy one. And then this one is a little bit more pointed. So the reason, the bigger it is, the more fluffy, the more airy, the more airbrushed. So this is good for just like, you know, smoking it out even with the lightest color, so it can look nice and diffused and soft. And the more concentrated, the more detail you want to get, the smaller you go, obviously. I use the Morphe 441, the Morphe 3, this is the 441, the Morphe R37. It's a little bit way bigger. You can definitely see that. And then the MAC 217, which is very similar, but it's a little bit like, it is a little bit flat right here, kind of. And then it like fans out, you know, and has like a rounded right here. It's really good. So yeah, this one has a little bit of a point. So when it has a little bit of a point, you need to, like, that point needs to be where you want to place the product, and then the outside of that will help blend. So yes, I love these. Okay, and then let's talk about the when you're putting eyeshadow on the lower lash line. This one again is by Morphe. It's an E18, and it honestly, find any brush that looks like this. Just find any brush that looks like this. You can I have one that I've been having for a long time from Real Techniques as well. It's just shorter, but I've used this for under here so much too. So just find a brush that it's very tiny. You know, it's easier to blend out, I think, in the bottom, unless you're really trying to blow it out. But if you're just trying to put a quick eyeshadow, like, get yourself a brush like these. I think these are more considered kind of like pencil brushes. So yeah, something like this. But this one I started using for inner corner highlight. So right here, put a little bit of like an illuminating eyeshadow to kind of open up your eyes. Again, I still haven't found my perfect brush for that, because this one is good, but it itches a little bit. So sometimes instead of a brush, I'll just go in with my pinky and like put it in right there. Okay, because like it's a little bit sensitive, I think, this area, you know, like it itches. Like if you're, you know, it's hard for me to drop a lot of money on a pencil brush. I'm like, I could just use this and it's not the end of the world. So, but definitely get yourself brushes like these for little detailing for under the eye and that. Okay, let's talk about this brush right here. Is from e.l.f. This is their concealer brush. Everybody needs a flat brush like this. Maybe 2, but this one, I use it to like kind of carve the brows. It's good with cream products. You can also use it to like grab a shade and really pack it on the lid. But this is also, you need a brush like this to help, like, you know, do the whole cut creases if you're, you know, really trying to get into all that. Like, everybody needs a brush like this. Okay, it's very detailed. You can even like spot conceal with it. It's just, I mean, it is a concealer brush anyways. So I just really love it. I use it to apply my eyeshadow primer or my concealer all over my lid. And I'll put it on and then I'll blend it with that brush that I was talking to you guys about, you know, that Sigma one, to, you know, really, really blend it out. So yeah, love this brush. You just get yourself a brush that looks like this. Like, honestly, I've gone through some of these because I get really cheap ones and then they break, and then I just go back to the store and get another one that's like $1 and just whatever. But maybe I should get a nice one. Like MAC. MAC has a nice one. I forget the name. But anyways, so then I have an angled brush. I think everybody needs an angled brush. Maybe. Yes. Just because it's so versatile. An angled brush. You can use this for your eyebrows. You can use this to line your eyes, you know, in the bottom and the top. And this is the MAC 266. I love this brush. If you use like cream pomades for your eyebrows, gel liner, like it is really good. Like really good. And like I even got a second one, but I actually think it might be discontinued, so I'm sorry. Okay, and then I also want to talk about little detail pencil brushes. So I know I mentioned that these are kind of like pencil brushes, but then you got the really baby liner pencil brushes. Okay, so this one is from Sigma. This is the E05. I love this little thing. I actually got it as a free gift, and when I like bought, I don't know what I bought. When I bought like some of the Sigma brushes, maybe that fan brush that I showed you guys. And it's just so good. You can do a lot. You could do liner, you know, with your gel liner. You can spray it, dip it into an eyeshadow and use that as eyeliner. You know, the bottom. It's just really good, really good. It, you know, especially if you're really trying to get into makeup more, you're gonna wanna use more precise tools. So this is a really good one. And then I have this one. This is literally a freaking art like brush, like one that you just like paint with. But I got it from Walmart. I do remember, I think I just went and I was like, I need little brushes. I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, so I'm just gonna go to Walmart and get some very tiny art brushes that I literally will use as liner. It's like I'll dab it into the glitter glue and along my lash line or in the top, and then stamp the glitter on. So for these kind of little brushes, literally you can just go to any like Walmart or whatever and get like a few of these and bam, that's now it. Let's talk about final things. I have 5 more, very quick. Everybody needs a spoolie, okay? This is a little mascara wand to help brush your eyebrows. You're gonna need one. If you don't, sometimes they come in like the little pencils, like the Anastasia ones, which I used to use for a long time. But it's good to have like a designated, like just, you know, spoolie. You can find it almost anywhere. And then everybody needs your eyelash curler, okay? This is from Tweezerman. It's a good brand. Tweezerman, it's a little expensive though. Like, it hurts me how expensive sometimes I feel like. Just for a freaking tweezer. I have a Tweezerman tweezer, which I was gonna mention as well. Tweezerman eyelash curler and tweezers. Okay, because we need tweezers to help apply the lashes, to pluck a hair. Ow. To pluck a hair if, you know, we gotta fix the eyebrows just a little bit. Like, you always need a tweezer. Yeah. Or like sometimes there's a little lint on your makeup and you don't want to like mess it up. You can just pick it up with the tweezers. It's just like handy, okay? And then your sharpener for your pencils. Yes, like, and it's crazy. Even though I have a freaking sharpener, sometimes I wait till I'm literally cutting myself with the lip liner to sharpen it. A little compact mirror. Yay. So, you know, when you want to get a little bit more detailed, it comes in handy. And especially when you're on the go, like sometimes you want to check your teeth, you want to check if your lips are crunchy or something. It's just good. And I say a compact mirror, and I know that, you know, some of you may already have like a highlighter. Like, for example, I have my Amazing highlighter, and it brings a mirror and all that. But like, if you carry this and break this, it's going to be such a mess. Like, it's going to suck. So, no, I've done that before, and that's how I messed up my Mary Luminizer, and I was pissed. So, just get a compact mirror. This one I got, again, from, like, Walmart. You can find them almost anywhere. Those are the tools that I use, like, all the time, basically, when I do my makeup. Not necessarily all of them, but you guys get my drift. Okay, so to finish up, I'm going to go through the brushes that I think are definitely essential for somebody that, you know, isn't all that crazy about makeup. They're like, listen, I just like need to like cover up or like look alive and call it a day. I got you, girl. So basically, you need your powder brush, girl. Okay? powder brush. You don't have to get this one, just something that's fluffy and big. You can go to, again, I said I've used the Real Techniques that you can find at Target, which is really good. Elf as well. So get yourself a fluffy brush, okay? This is It Cosmetics. It's expensive, so you don't have to get this one. Okay, and then your bronzer slash blush. So, okay, get a brush like this. Not as big as this. You can try to apply the bronzer with a really big, but look how big this is. That's huge. So, you know, not too big, but you want to get the bronzer like kind of everywhere. Okay, and then you can also use it for blush, you know? So a little bit of blush. Okay, right? And then if you want to glow, get yourself, I would say, to be honest, oh my God, my brain. I would say to get yourself like these three, because you can use this for blush slash highlighter. It's not gonna be as concentrated. If you want it as concentrated, you need to get a smaller brush. Okay, so this one you can use for bronzer, blush. This is blush slash highlighter. You can use that, or a brush similar size. Okay, if you want to get a little detailed one, if highlight is your life, get this. Okay, so I guess maybe I'll include it. Okay, so that's it for face brushes. This is literally all you need. And get yourself this beauty sponge that I'm telling you. You know, it's so good. All right, so this basically is what you need for face brushes. At least 3 to 4. Okay, and your sponge. All right, and then for eyes, you definitely need a detail one. Okay, you need your blending, at least one. You need, depending on how you do your eyebrows, if you just use a pencil, then you don't need an extra brush. But if you use a pomade, get yourself your angled brush or your specific blending pencil brush, angled brush, okay? And then what else? Concealer brush, little flat brush, okay? Let me think. Yeah, because the angled one, you can use that as liner too, unless you get yourself a individual liner brush, for example. Is this one? Okay. Yes. So if you're a person that never wears liner, that's another one you don't need. Look at, great. And if you're a person that already has amazing, beautiful, thick eyebrows that you don't really like do anything, now you only need 3 brushes. So, but yeah, so whatever. But if you want to really kind of get into it, yeah, I would say about at least 3 to 4 face brushes, 3 to 4 eye brushes. I mentioned the ones, you know, your beauty sponge. And then when I talked about, for me, this is a must because my eyelashes are so straight. Your sharpener, your tweezers, your mirror, you know, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Well, one more tool. Oh my God. One more tool, guys. I'm sorry. You need a little scissor, or like a scissor in general. A little one is better because you can like, it's a little bit more precise, especially when you're cutting little things like, you know, you're cutting your eyelashes, or, which is mainly that, or trimming your eyebrows. Little scissors comes in handy for sure. And you can get them anywhere. Again, go to like CVS, Walmart, whatever. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope it wasn't too crazy. I hope I wasn't like you guys were like, what the freak? So, and brushes don't expire. I don't think they do. Last way longer. So yeah, it's great. Life is good. Sometimes. Whatever. Okay, that's it. Thank you for hanging out. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's it. I will see you guys on the next video.